Hey all, this is Tolby. So, a while ago, as you've probably already seen, we did a Battle Royale in the Silly Lords with all of the major YouTubers and content creators, including midjiwan himself, thanks to Gully for organizing this event. What you're about to see is my viewpoint of how the entire game went down, as well as any post-related game-related content. Unfortunately, a lot of recording ended up happening, and this is going to have to be divided into multiple parts. But I hope you enjoy, and we'll see you in the game. So we're going to jump right on in. And we're in the corner spawn. All right, that actually gives us quite a bit to work with. So we pretty much, everybody knows what tribes we're playing. It was going to be random, but I wanted to make sure to pick a different tribe, so I specifically asked everyone to share their tribes they picked. And after a very close vote, with Banu almost winning the tribe vote, we ended up going with Omaji. So I will be playing as the Condor, getting ourselves the rider. All right, quick analysis, because I do have the time to do this. We have the lighthouse here, so our second rider, depending on how things look, may just end up going back here. So that way we can get ourselves our capital a lot faster. You know what? No, we're not going to be going to the lighthouse right away. We need both our riders here in the front. But the question is, which way we're going to go? We're going to go to the top or the bottom. Now, this is going to be a large map, so we're going to have quite a decent amount of space. Peace treaties are banned. I can go over all the rules later. But which way is going to be the most important? Now, this way takes me to some water on this continent-based map, so that's important to take note as well of what map we're playing. So there's not necessarily land on this entire edge over here. So perhaps I may want to consider, this might be either a river or a lake. There's no land here or here, so it's at least a little bit of a lake. I do feel safer looking this way for our village. Now, unfortunately, we have a forest here, so the real question is, do we go to the top tile or the bottom? Now, we will be training a second rider. So the second rider will go more than likely the other way. My gut's telling me we go down here, and unfortunately we were wrong. So we lost that little gamble. We're going to go ahead and start off with a second rider. We will be having the second rider go here and hopefully discover a village, which will allow us to decide where to send this. Because the beauty of Omaji is their flexibility with their fast maneuverability thanks to riders in the early game. Well, that's it for turn one. We're going to go ahead and take a quick little snapshot of everybody's score right here. There we go. So here's everybody's points. YouTube goalie has already gone first, and so if you're going to be trying to score count, well, here you go. Here's the current scores after our turn 0. See you all on the next turn. Any updates? Absolutely not. First thing we're going to take a look is anybody's scores abnormally high. No, it looks like goalie is probably just Quetzali and explored 5 clouds. An excellent opener for Quetzali, so they're heading towards the center. And then a warrior movement. Hold on, I need to check the scores. Interesting. Somebody is still only at 620. And of course, we're at the lowest because we are playing as Omaji. So we're going to go ahead and take this turn as planned last time. We're looking to see if there's a village either here or here or here. Moving this rider forward. And fantastic with that, we are now going to go ahead and move to capture said village and find Hudrik's territory. Fantastic. So we've got it for any of these 630 point tribes over here, allowing us to get quite an early lead. Next turn, we'll be able to pick up organization and start looking for another village. This rider's going to be heading over here, probably to this fruit, so we can try to prevent our explorer from heading south, because we'd rather our explorer head here towards the center and figure out what our opponents are up to. So we'll be able to get a head start and hopefully be able to snowball with such a lead in this game. Not much is being seen. For those who are counting scores, we're pretty much seeing everything that's expected. The big burr has... Man, I'm really curious as to what tribe they're going with. They seem to be 10 points short, so I think they didn't train a warrior on their first turn. Which is interesting. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe they're saving for something? I don't know. All right. So this rider is going to be following the fruit because this one is kind of far away, which it could be attached to either of these, but this fruit is a little too far from here. So I'm going to look to see if we got another village on this tile right over here. Does that mean we should move here instead? For the off chance, or move here in case it's over here? That's really far. I'd rather not have my rider too far. So we're just gonna follow the fruit, and there we go. There's the village. With that, we are now going to pick up organization, because that will allow us to level up our capital as well as our front city here and get off a good explore. Now, capturing the village gets us in line and in first place compared to everybody else, despite starting off with a tribe with the lowest score. So, you know, points don't necessarily matter, but we're going to try to use this to our advantage to figure out what the others are up to. Now, we're not going to, you know, fully score count. I'm not going to be doing that, but for y'all at home, if y'all want to do that, go right ahead. Your scores are right here. Pretty much right now, everyone is uncovering their clouds, but the biggest question is why is the big burr 10 points short than where I think they should be? I don't think they trained in a second warrior. Alrighty, but all of this is pretty much lining up exactly as expected. Now, this is a 6-player free-for-all, so the biggest question is, are we going to level up our capital and get ourselves a workshop? Or are we going to explore with this front city first? Now, I'm actually opting to explore the front city with the off chance that we find a Hoodrick player to give us more points in order to actually afford as well getting another upgrade at our capital. But it also lets us get a good idea about what's going on out there in the big scary world of the silly lords. Alright, well, that's it for this turn. See y'all in the next one. For those keeping track of the score, now here's where everything is. We're pretty much seeing what we're expecting. Looks like the big burr has jumped up a lot. Wow, did they get a city? No, the others didn't. I think the others just got a technology and leveled up their stuff. But the big burr, their score went up so much. I think they got a city. I don't know. We'll figure that out here in just a little bit. All right, this rider's gonna be going on to here, and we're gonna now discover quite a bit. All right, time for us to take the gamble. I'm actually gonna try and explore first to discover our opponents. That also gives our rider more movement options because we can't go through any of these. So we're gonna fruit, explore.
Hello there.
Huh. So I misplayed. So what do I mean by a misplay? So if you remember, our rider started off right here on this tile. And of course, we had already had this rider still available. And he's still available to take an action. But if I was already planning on doing an explorer, I should have started off with the explorer in the first place. And we actually get punished here specifically for that. For this explorer, in this instance, gets to reveal the ruin. This means that our opponent's going to possibly have a swordsman right here at our doorstep. If that happens, we are in big trouble. There's an archer there to support it. Now, we don't know which way the archer came from. We don't know if it came from here and it's going to get pushed to this tile. We don't know if it came from here. We don't know if it came from here and it's going to get pushed to this tile. And we don't know if it came from here and it's going to get pushed to this tile. But either way, there is an archer here about to possibly have a swordsman. And this could have been a game-losing play right here. What was the better play in this instance? Well, you've had some time to think about it, but let's see if you're able to figure it out. What we should have done is done on our explorer, be able to find everything that we're going to find, and then our rider moves over here, bop-a-da-bop, returns back to its space, the archer does not die, and then it can move on to this village here. Now, if the enemy has a warrior that stops by and decides to say, hello there, the rider would allow to live, allowing me to capture the city, but we would then, we're going to be drawing even more lines, then we would still have this rider go ahead and here, secure the kill, but we don't know. Well, actually, in this case, we would be able to know because our opponent does not have any other villages yet. They're only at 3. So we could possibly get away with keeping the rider on the village or make a more safer defensive play, move it on back to protect our village. Or we could move it back to this tile here in order to help protect our village. This one would be a lot safer, and then we could fight for the ruins on a later turn when we have more military might. Or we could just say, look, I'm just going to take the ruins and sacrifice my rider. In this free-for-all format, you don't want to lose as many resources too early on. You want to avoid early wars. So I probably would have opted to go here, and I would argue this would be the better play, but both of them are perfectly valid to either go for the ruins or to move back and protect your village here, because 3 villages in this size of a free-for-all is actually really good, because on average you're only getting about 2.5. So this would have given us the advantage and be a lot safer without possibly losing the game immediately. Alrighty, back to the video. And immediately, midjiwan, the creator, is right here next door to us. There's their capital. They have a ruin right here at our borders. That's actually kind of terrifying. Yeah, we're definitely gonna do something about that. We need to get ready for a potential swordsman. We're gonna get ourselves another rider. Yeah. And wish us luck. This ruin could decide the fate between me and my opponent. We're going to need a lot more riders in case it's a swordsman. Now, if it's a swordsman, we'll be able to kill off the archer, as the archer is either going to get pushed here, here, or here. So we'll be able to deal with the archer, but the swordsman actually has me worried. So hopefully luck is in our favor and a swordsman doesn't spawn. We'll see how that goes. Best of luck to midjiwan. Looks like they're going to be needing it, especially since this is an interesting matchup. Now, Omaji absolutely destroys archers. Archers are not a great tech against rider spam. However, warriors with a defense bonus are strong against riders because you need 3 riders to kill 1 warrior. So I'm assuming this warrior's going to go over here and capture this village, so we're just going to let that happen. But this is a lot of trees here between the 2 of us, and that actually kind of worries me. What our plan essentially is going to be... Man, that's actually going to be really tricky. We're going to have to improve the economy a lot more first. So we're definitely going to need to get a workshop in both of these cities before anything else. Roads will definitely be beneficial, but we're going to have to be spamming out riders so we could deal with this potential unit. And hopefully I can win the race to this village down here. We'll see how that goes. At least that's the plan on paper. But we'll have to just see how things turn out. Hope to see y'all then on turn 4 of the Silly Lords. What's in the ruins? It's population. Alrighty, we can actually work with that. So, sure, that means that we're not going to be... Oh man, they're going to actually give us a good fight here. So, what can happen... Here's what we're looking at. I have to kill this archer. I really don't want to kill this archer because I don't want to really get super aggressive against midjiwan. I want to have a more fair fight in this battle royale because we can absolutely pressure the heck out of our opponent and possibly get a very early kill. But this is a 6-player free-for-all. That's not what the game is, and my objective is not to absolutely shut down the creator. I'm here to have a good time. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to level something up. There's no technologies for us to pick, so let's go ahead and capture, as it is safe to do so. We are going to go ahead. Or do I? So here's what we could do. We can use this rider to kill this archer off. And we can use this rider in order to pressure this warrior. So even if they capture, we just train another rider here instead of leveling a city up, and we can steal this city from our opponent. That is absolutely a thing that we can do. Again, it is not my goal to absolutely take out an opponent right here in this instance. I want to have a fun and fair game against our opponents, so what we're going to do is we're still going to kill the archer to protect this city over here, so that way they can't just move this rider to either this tile or this tile. Move the archer here, attack with the archer, and secure the siege with the rider. We would be able to unsiege as we have plenty of supports back here, but I'd rather not deal with the negative income for a city being sieged. So if we were in a 1 versus 1 situation, the correct play is you use this rider to kill this archer, and then you use this rider to hit this warrior, train another rider. Yes, you're not leveling up a city, but even if they upgrade this city over here, this healthy rider can siege. And we've got, as long as we reposition ourselves in a good, healthy way, this rider or anything else that's trained over here can't unsiege whatever goes on over here. So that would be the correct play to do in a 1 versus 1 situation. So, what I'm going to go ahead and do, we will kill this rider. We'll kill the archer, move it on back, and we're going to put it into position in order to heal ourselves. And I need this rider to support this city, because I would like to make an attempt to this village over here to at least pressure it a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and move over to here, and I would definitely like to get another workshop rolling. If we look at this tile here, there is land here, but let's just remember, this is a continents game. So even though there's land on this tile, wait a minute, there's land on this tile. Oh, this is a river. Oh, we can absolutely discover another opponent through this. So we're not going to level up this city yet. What I would like to do is fruit. We're going to get ourselves a workshop. So I would like to get climbing first before leveling up this city. So we're going to be holding this one back just a little bit, so that way we can get an explorer rolling all the way over here. The reason why I would like climbing, or heck, actually better yet, we could go fishing. The reason why I want to do that is so that way we can more reliably make our way over here. And actually, so we do want fishing, specifically because fishing will allow us to level up this city to level 3, get 5 stars, and then we can explore here. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to hold off on this level up for a couple turns, so that way we can save our stars for a turn, then pick up fishing, and then level up this to level 3, and then level up the city here with an explorer in order to figure out what's going on over here, hopefully find a lighthouse, and also at maybe 2 other players for a massive star advantage. That will do it for this turn over here. For those who are wanting to score count, here's your scores. We're currently in 7 with good old YouTube goalie absolutely rocking in first place. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Would y'all have gone ahead and gone with the kill? If this was a normal game, I probably would have done so, but I'd like to make sure that everybody's having a fair and fun chance. So that will do it for this one. Stay tuned for the future turns. Pass the turn. And here we are. It is now turn 5 in the Silly Lords. Let's see what midjiwan ended up doing in response to me killing their archer. I'm assuming they're going to go ahead and capture that village. Let's see if anything else happens. Interesting. They decide to play a little bit on the aggressive. I mean, you can there, buddy. So, we are now essentially going to be competing for this village, which that's fine. Now, I want to make sure that I don't uncover these two tiles here, specifically because I want to explore with this village, but we are going to explore with this village after we pick up fishing, which is next turn. So how do we want to handle this? Because I need this rider. I really don't want to lose this rider. 1, 2. I guess we're going to go ahead and just move this rider over to here. Because this is okay to uncover. Tell you what, so here's what we're going to do. Because I don't want to be spending any stars this turn. Okay, it's important. Do you have Fortify? You do have the Fortify skill. He could technically attempt sieging me here if I'm not careful. Do we just give him this village? Rather not. But he can move both these. Well, if he moves these riders to siege, he can't then take this village, and we can unsiege and still afford everything. So what we're going to go ahead and do is move these two over to here. Ooh, a ruin. Because in this instance, if he kills this, cool, he can fight for the ruin, but he's not going to be able to take this village. If he goes here, it's just because this forest is in the perfect spot for us to essentially prevent our opponent from claiming this. So next turn, we're going to be doing quite a bit. They do have a possibility to go ahead and siege us here, but we will still have enough stars to do everything we want to do, which is fishing, level this up, and then get this up a level with an explorer, which should cause us to meet somebody else to give us, at least from the looks of it, 5 stars, if not finding 2 people and getting us 10. So that is going to be the plan. It's going to be a little bit of a gambit, but I think it's going to go ahead and work out. It really just depends on how aggressive midjiwan wants to be against us. Now, we do need to be a little bit careful, because this is a very big gambit of we're taking a risk by doing all of this. I probably should have done the thing and absolutely shut them down over here, but what our opponent can do is they can move this warrior here and trade an archer, a couple of archers, because this is prime real estate for a warrior double archer push, which is going to be very tricky for us to oppose. But we got enough riders. We'll be able to train riders here in the back, warriors here on the front, once we improve our economy on the upcoming turn. So wish us luck on next turn. For those who are score counting, here's where the current scores are, with goalies still absolutely in the lead. We're going to see how midjiwan is responding. Now, I want to try to play a little bit more passively and focus on economy, but there's a good chance that I'm going to have to focus a lot on military, because they may try to just siege here. Yeah, so they're going for the siege. They're moving a warrior forward. They're doing a whole bunch of textbook plays here, and they are absolutely calling me out on the fact that there's not too much I can do. So we're going to go ahead and have to fight back here. We are going to go ahead and still do our play. Grab fishing here. 1, 2, 3. And get rid ourselves our resources. Bop-a-da-bop, and secure the kill. Move you over here. Move you on over here. And it is time, now that we have fishing, we should most certainly be able to explore and find some opponents here. At least that is what we're going to gamble for. If it works, fantastic. If not, there's actually a good chance we may just die here in a couple turns, especially since this forest is in a bad location to support this city. So, get 1 fruit, 2 fruits, and explore. And with that, we find the big burr. Give us 1 more player. And petrified gremlin? Look at that. That worked out perfectly. being able to find out that we've got so many Hoodrick players here. And the Big Burr is not in a good position. This actually does a lot for us. We're going to go train a warrior here. And that will make it to where we could fight for this ruin. We're going to have to train ourselves a warrior here, or else this gets sieged, and a rider back here. So we have enough economy to pump out military units and outpace our opponent. So in that position, we're actually in a solid spot for this map. Next turn, we actually have the potential to go after this ruin. So here's how it's going to work out. We're not going to be worried too much on what's going down here in the south. We're more focused on someone who is clearly making aggressive moves towards us. So how do we answer this? We know that this warrior is more than likely either going to go here or here. If I was this warrior, I would be positioning him right onto this forest tile in my territory, specifically so that we can get an archer here and train up another archer in this, and that way on the following turn you'll be able to siege this city. And it's really difficult to fight against warriors that are in trees with everything that we've currently got going for us. Luckily, we have 3 cities worth of production, so we'll be able to deal with this. The tricky thing is, how do we fight everything down here? Now, looks like midjiwan is going to want to continue to send riders forward and apply pressure. That is why we trained this warrior, because this warrior is applying pressure to this rider, making it to where both of these cannot kill and get a siege. And since there's a warrior and these riders here in the back, he's not going to want to go after this ruin. So what is this rider going to do? The next best thing. This warrior's slow. These 2 units are out of range. This rider is going to go here onto this village. I don't know precisely what this rider is going to do. If I was midjiwan, I would be looking at positioning this rider on one of these 2 tiles, mostly to start applying pressure on our front here and to attempt to support this village. So, what do we do in response? If he ends up going... Actually, it really doesn't matter where they end up going, because he's going to train another rider, train an archer here. We already know what units they're training, but their economy is going to suffer because of that. But we have a good enough economy to actually slowly save up and hopefully get farming in the nearby future, so that way we can start leveling up our other cities. But yeah, that's a little bit far off. So what do we need to do? Our next tech is potentially roads in order to have a combat advantage, because mobility is key in this kind of instance. We're going to have issues against warriors in all of these forests, so we're going to need to outmass our opponents. In other words, we need to do everything we can to prevent this village from happening. What we can then do is we'll be training a couple more... Actually, so this warrior is going to end up going onto this tile here, and that will fully protect our city here, allowing us to train up a rider. And that is very important to A, protect the city back here, but B, allows us to threaten this village. Second, this rider can then go onto this ruin. By doing so, we are telling our opponent, you want this village? Well, we are going to potentially capture this ruin. Also, once we have this warrior here, and we have our rider here, since it's a rider that wants to claim this village, he will be unsafe to do so. Ooh, or we don't have the forestry tech. We really should just place our warrior here so we don't have to pick up mountaineering, or climbing in this case, so that way we can threaten this village. Ooh. Yeah. By placing the warrior there, we threaten both of these villages, so they would have to either train a warrior here, because if they train a rider while we have a rider back here, we can siege the capital and essentially kick them out of the game. Meanwhile, we'll be able to apply a lot of pressure on this village as well. It's looking really good for us here in the south. And thanks to our slightly superior economy, and we're also going to be seeing here that our opponents are not necessarily getting away with this easy, how do we turn this into an economic advantage? My biggest concern is in the later game. It looks like Spark and Gully, we haven't met them yet. So we don't know how much freedom they have, if they are all alone out there able to run away and get onto the water, or if they're being passive with each other. Because this is not being passive, which means both of us are going to have to invest way too much into our military, and that is going to hurt our mid-game. So, it looks like we're going to be able to apply enough pressure to potentially at least siege this village, maybe capture the ruin, and also threaten capturing the capital over here thanks to our superior production. The biggest concern we've got is how do we defend our city over here? Because if they siege, then we're going to be losing a lot of stars per turn, and I'd rather avoid that if possible. So I think in the end, we're going to be just fine. We're going to just focus a lot on our military for the next couple turns. But I really want to be improving my economy and getting on the water nearly as soon as possible. So, midjiwan, I would like to play passively here. I'm not going to say that in the chat because this is a battle royale. I want to play passively so we can get on the water so at least one of us has a chance into the late game. Because, again, the biggest concern are the two opponents that I have not been able to find just as of yet. What will y'all be doing in this situation? Let us know. And for those who are score counting, here is the current score for the end of turn 6 of the Silly Lords. So we're going to see how aggressive they plan on playing. Exactly as expected. We get to get a free kill here with our warrior. Yeah, see, this actually is not the best position I would want to be. I really want my warrior on this tile here, so that way we could threaten this city. Yeah, because it's fantastic that our opponent went ahead and attacked, because that's what they need to do. We can't level up with farming just as of yet. We're going to need a lot more stars, which we'll be able to get slowly over time. So, here's what we're going to go ahead and do. We really need this warrior here on this tile. Bop-a-da-bop. Go ahead and secure that right over there. And then we secure this kill and move to this tile over here. That allows us to train a rider here and fully threaten this city with a siege with our warrior. We're going to go ahead and heal up with this rider. So the big question is, how are we going to protect ourselves here in the north against this? Because this is the exact play as we expected. And I'm not going to lie, I really hadn't figured out what the best course of action for us is going to be. So they want to siege, so Archer can go... Archer stays here. This Archer can go here. Bop-a-da-bop. We really want to try to position ourselves in a way to deal with the Archers that are, for the safest tiles are going to be here and here on these two. We have to train a new warrior. So the real question is what's the best place to put it? Now, if they don't... If we move our warrior to this tile here, they can just move their archer here, and then they'll have two archers here. That's 2 attacks. Secure the siege with the warrior, which means we are going to require a rider, more than likely on, let's say, this tile back here. No, so if we put it here, it's actually safe from the archers, because they could potentially just move forward and ping, and that would just annoy me. So we could do that. We need to train a rider back here. So we still have one more rider we can train in the back. We've got so much power available to us. But what I am expecting to do is, if we move our warrior here, our opponent could technically move their warrior and secure the kill on this tile here. So we need to bait their warrior in a slightly better position for ourselves, which gives us 3 locations. We can move it here, but unfortunately, it will be outside of range for us to secure the kill in a good way, so that is not the best location. We can move it here, which, if he decides to kill with the warrior, puts it on a place where he no longer receives a defensive bonus, but unfortunately, this rider back here can't secure the kill. So, the best place for us to still threaten the archer on this tile here is to place the warrior on this tile. Then after that, we gotta train a warrior, and the rest of the stars, we just gotta save up. So we have our plan for how we're gonna engage on both of these, but look at this. We are fully threatening both of these cities. We have enough riders to deal with whatever they end up doing over here. And if he decides to weaken this warrior and try to bring it on back, then train either a warrior, which he'll have to train a warrior, else I siege the capital, we can absolutely get away with a lot here. We'll see how that goes. For now, we pretty much have our plan figured out. Stay tuned for the next turn of the Silly Lords. Sorry, Big Burr. Unfortunately, you ended up drawing the short straw, so I don't think you're going to be able to reach all the way over there. Your best bet, really, is either... Actually, no, they're cooked. That's highly unfortunate. So just last as long as they possibly can. Looks like our bigger threat is going to be the petrified gremlin. Hopefully we don't spend too much time dealing with midjiwan, so that way we can actually proceed to our win conditions. I would like to... Here's what I really want to do. While it would be nice to siege the capital, I guarantee you they'll be able to, unfortunately, just unsiege no matter what we do, especially with an archer over here, which is why we're trying to threaten it. So what we really want is to be able to apply pressure onto this ruin, as well as siege the city at the same time. Because as long as we get one of these riders over there, we're going to be just fine. We got enough units to deal with this. I just hope it doesn't take too long. All right. For those who are score counting, here's the current scores. East Spark is still roughly the same. Scully's gone up by about another 100, so it looks like that's a tech in order to level up cities. But yeah, I'm hoping these two are actually fighting each other, but we'll be seeing here in a little bit. So if I can, I'd like to assist the Big Burr, mostly to buy time against them. But I don't think there's anything I can do, unfortunately. So with that, that's going to go ahead and be the end of the turn. Post-editing Tolby here. Turns out, after some events, because this was recorded once a day, essentially, I forgot to unmute my microphone. So, you can see my mouse moving. Yeah, that's me trying to talk and explain things as I normally do. So what's going on over here? As we can see, midjiwan is sieging our city, as we had previously planned. And they decided to not take the city. So what we're going to do is we're going to unsiege, and we're going to make sure to unsiege with a rider. So that's way we can continue to train more units. I don't know, I haven't seen this in like 2 weeks. Secure the kill and go on to the ruin like so. That ruin is now ours. Move on over here, bop-a-da-bop, and secure the village. Or at least so we'll be attempting to. We can't train any more units, so we are now at the point where we can start saving money. Get ourselves another warrior to defend our city, and now that city is essentially fully protected, as those archers can't kill that warrior anymore, but our warriors can now move in and start dealing some damage to those archers. Oh, right! We're trying to figure out how to avoid getting our city sieged. So the correct play actually is to trade in the warrior, so that way midjiwan can't move their units in easily, kill the warrior, and siege our city. So we're going to train a rider. Move the warrior on up. heal the warrior on up. And unless our opponent does anything such as getting roads, we're going to be perfectly fine against midjiwan. Now, my bigger concern is what can I do in order to prepare against Blueberry Cheesecake, the petrified gremlin in the south who's currently sieging the big burr. We'll have to figure that plan out on a future episode, and we're just going to go ahead and move on to the following next turn. Hey, he actually managed to have a defender back there to help unsiege that. Fantastic. Alrighty, so the big bird's actually alive. That's actually great. And as we were kind of predicting last turn, even though I was muted, our opponent did manage to save up to 4 stars from the previous turn, meaning they probably had enough to get roads, which turns out they did. They would have been better off putting the road here, but the road here does make it to where I can't easily body block it. So it's not absolutely terrible, but it also means that they can keep trying to get warriors to lay siege to this city. And I don't see a particular reason why I need to not take this ruin, so we're gonna go ahead and do that. And a Schwarzman! Oh, that village is now mine. That is not good for them at all. Alright. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and... Gosh, I'd rather... We need to go ahead... Alright, here's the deal. I need them to decide which one they're actually going to take. So, we're going to go ahead and send the rider here. And send this warrior here. Bop-a-da-bop. And lay siege with our rider. If I had 3 more stars, I could also lay siege to kill this archer and make it to where they can't unsiege. Unfortunately, we don't have that kind of freedom. However, with this happening, our opponent will not have enough stars to really train a unit and buy a road, meaning that we can pretty much safely get a rider here. Also get a rider here. And continue to move this forward. We're going to heal everything else up. Not too much else for us to do. So I was mentioning in the last one that unfortunately was muted. Due to just idle chatter happening in the chat between all the players, it was Goalie and eSpark both mentioned that now they're keeping each other in check, which is why their points... I mean, eSpark's just jumped 200, so it looks like she got a tech and leveled up a city, possibly? But they're apparently keeping each other in check. Whereas we're applying a lot of pressure to midjiwan, because while I was gonna consider, you know, being somewhat peaceful as we got onto the water, they decided to play aggressively with us. So I'm gonna go ahead and return the favor and say, "Hey there, how's it going? I want your cities." So with that, they now have to either unsiege this, which would be the smarter play, or they need to go ahead. Or they need to prevent me from capturing this. Now, I do have everything necessary to level this up at least once, but we'll be able to put a workshop here. Ooh, or... do I explore? Well, if I explore, it doesn't give me a lot of information. I would only be exploring specifically for the lighthouse, and there is a chance that the explorer misses it. Also, with this being a large map, I don't see myself finding this lighthouse. I am more likely going to be building a bridge and then applying pressure to this Hoodrick player, but we really do need to consider getting onto the water soon. So with that, we need a better economy. Better economy is going to be farming in order to potentially level this city up, level our capital up with just 1 farm, and finding our lighthouse over here. Plus, this city does need to have its borders grown, so that way we have even more water access, because water access is going to be key this game. It looks like we're going to have quite a bit of it, though. No quite telling, but we're putting midjiwan in a bad spot. We're outproducing them. We've got no more we can trade back here, which means it's time to save our stars for more important techs like roads, or as I was mentioning earlier, farming to level up this city. Well, with all these Hoodrick players, I may need to pivot into forestry. I don't know. None of this is really going to be easy to level up. Roads is probably the correct answer, as it's more universal. Plus, it allows me to deal with this, well, more than likely, the Petrified Goblin or Blueberry Cheesecake. Because they are going to be a potential problem for me down the road. Anywho, that is a pretty good spot for us here at the end of turn 9 of the Silly Lords. So with everything going on, we can see here the Big Burr now getting sieged for the final time. That will be the end of the Big Burr's reign. So unfortunately, they're the first one out. We got fire going on in the fog all the way over here. I don't quite remember. Pull up that. Or fire, and then gully response. Who would do such a thing? So it looks like E-Spark's getting sieged with outside knowledge as far as we are aware. We've got a single kill there. Well, we've got no kills there. Yeah. This is actually looking really good for us. I would like to take this turn to pivot in the direction that we need. We can start getting roads, which give us access to bridges. Which essentially can get this to level 3, can get this by capital leveled up, as well as giving us the mobility to get through all of these forests and start dealing with these warriors. It looks like that's the route I'm going to want to be taking. Really am not wanting to. I also pick up farming. We can level up our capital by moving Rider all the way over. I think roads is really just going to be the best bet militarily, and it gets us in the best position to actually close out and win this game. Plus, if I do want to be dealing with blue cheese, we're definitely going to need a bridge here. Especially since we've got plenty of spaces where it's just open terrain. And of course, archers are just really weak against riders. That being said, we got a whole bunch of warriors here, so it's going to cost us quite a bit just to start killing off these warriors. We're going to actually have to train a warrior in this city in the upcoming turn. But looks like our best bet is going to be we got to pick up roads, capture the city, and how... I can force a siege here. I can actually force take this city. So here's what we're looking at. We can use a rider here, and let's just say this rider back here in order to kill this archer. Then, after that, we can place a road probably on this tile here. Let's just go ahead. Like, if we place a road here, this rider can go 1. Oh, no, it's actually not far enough. It's 1 and then 1, 2. Dang. Looks like I would need to build another road in order to actually siege. So, unfortunately, that can't happen. We don't have enough. I definitely want to set up for a siege in a future turn. We're going to go ahead and move this veteran swordsman over here. Bob. Bring this on back. Not a single one of these have any kills? We're going to heal up that warrior. Bring this right over here. We're going to heal you up. And there's no point in us hitting these warriors with the rider. Because by doing so, all that's going to allow is they're just going to heal up, similar to what we're doing right now. And I would like to force them to use a lot more resources than they'd prefer. So we're going to go ahead and train up a warrior here. Do I? Yeah, we gotta train a frontline warrior. Because they are actually not in a good position. They'd have to build a road here in order to be able to do anything with this warrior. But we could start placing roads next turn and putting ourselves in a much better position. Yeah, that's the way we're going to be going. In fact, we can start by placing this rider here. And our opponent will not be able to kill it. But it also puts this rider closer to we can threaten their capital. Yeah. Alright, so this is the play. I need you to heal up. And you might as well just stay here just to protect the city. Because there's no reason for us to eventually lose those stars. We're golden here. We're going to start getting a whole bunch of roads set up. If I can't connect everything and level up the city on the future turn. I mean, I could put this rider back here onto this tile, which will allow us to go road, 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 and get level 3. You know what? My goal is not to try to kill out midjiwan in this turn. Because I have the initiative. I have all the riders. We have roads. I would actually like, in a couple turns, to start getting everything leveled up. We're going to be getting a workshop here. Because, again, our top priority really is... Ooh, we need 2 more kills for the killer monument. Our goal is to level up all of our cities and improve our economy. Because right over here... Blue cheese... has a big city. And with this forestry right here, all they need is at least 15 stars, or they could do some chopping. And they've got a giant, and they've got a massive lead on this entire game of economy, which puts us in a bad spot, not gonna lie. This Park of Fortune is in a very interesting spot, meaning that they are not looking forward to building a bridge over here. So that's an interesting strategic decision made by Blue Cheese. I would have left this open, because if you lose the city, you essentially lose this game anyways. So I would have left this open for a potential bridge. I think that Park of Fortune's put in the... Oh, it's a Park of Fortune. They already have a giant. My goodness, Blue Cheese. What are you doing with your economy? Yeah, we got to focus on our economy. So this rider is going to go here so we can see this lighthouse. Road, 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 and start connecting up all these cities and leveling everything up. Because even though we're doing okay in the now, heck, even with this swordsman that we've got, I can probably start applying pressure to midjiwan here. But I do need to improve the economy. I'd like to build a port, but we can't afford a navy yet. So, that being said, our goal is we're just going to improve our economy for the next couple turns. Farming would be helpful. Expand the borders for these. I don't know. Maybe I should be focusing on getting a different city all the way leveled up. I don't know which city would be the best option, though. We need to rush out a giant. The sooner the better. We are on turn 10 with only 10 stars per turn. That's not looking good. We'll figure it out in the next turn. But we are going to have a good economic turn next one. Here is going to be your scores for those who are trying to score count. Petrified Gremlin absolutely jumps ahead in the score as they are pumping out those giants. And it is definitely making me nervous. Hopefully we can form some quiet alliance. Because I'm not, peace treaties are not allowed. But want to make sure that one player just doesn't run away with the entire game. I'm not going to go ahead and start spilling a whole bunch of information in the group chat. Because I want to do everything I can to win. But we do need to take out midjiwan a couple turns. So we'll see. I don't know if this siege is going to hold. If suddenly East Spark goes down by like 300 points and goalie increases by it, then we know that goalie's at a massive advantage. But we accomplished what we wanted. We forced midjiwan to hold back just a little bit and have to defend a city, giving us a 4th city. Let's improve our economy. We'll see where this goes. On to the next turn. And with that, we're only a third of the way through the game. If you'd like to see what happens next, you're going to have to tune into the next video, as this one has now reached an hour long, and it does take a long time for me to edit this. So, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all look forward to the next portion of it, and we'll see you in the rest of the game.